Students, as already we followed that light phase events, electron transport, how it cause proton translocation and cause the synthesis of NADPH and ATP. But now, and let us focus on the differences between bacterial photosynthesis and higher plant photosynthesis, particularly based on light phase mechanism. And here bacterial photosynthesis we can refer it as anoxygenic because there is no oxygen evolution during light phase, whereas higher plant photosynthesis is oxygenic due to the evolution of oxygen during light phase mechanism. Now let us go through the differences. In bacterial photosynthesis during light phase, only PS1 is involved in electron transport. So, only cyclic electron transport takes place and that leads to cyclic photophosphorylation and which cause the synthesis of only ATP molecules. For a pair of electrons only one ATP. Of course, only ATP production is observed during light phase, that is during cyclic photophosphorylation due to cyclic electron transport. And as there is no involvement of water and so that no evolution of oxygen and it is anoxygenic. Okay? But whereas in higher plants photosynthesis and during light phase both PS1 and PS2 are involved and so there the electron transport is majorly non-cyclic electron transport and cause non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Okay? And then due to non-cyclic electron transport and by the involvement of water molecule and as photolysis of water takes place, oxygen is evolved as byproduct, so it is oxygenic. And in non-cyclic photophosphorylation and we observed for a pair of electrons 4 ATP molecules are synthesized. Okay? And now NADPH as well as ATP is the assimilatory power synthesized during that non-cyclic electron transport that occur in higher plant photosynthesis. So, the electron transport mechanism that occur in higher plant photosynthesis by the involvement of PS1 and PS2 which is said to be non-cyclic electron transport and that cause photolysis of water and evolution of oxygen. Not only that, and non-cyclic electron transport favors the synthesis of NADPH and that non-cyclic electron transport also cause proton translocation. So, and it also help in the synthesis of ATP. So, here both NADPH and ATP, the assimilatory power, two types of energetics are formed during non-cyclic electron transport and that leads to non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Okay? But, and here as Van Niel observed, we have to focus on the point observed by Van Niel here. As Van Niel observed, in bacterial photosynthesis also carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrate by utilizing NADPH2, he said. Okay? So, assimilatory power, that is ATP and NADPH2 utilization is common for both bacterial photosynthesis as well as higher plant photosynthesis. Mean in bacteria carbon dioxide reduced and that is by NADPH2. Whereas in higher plants also carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrate by NADPH2. So, involvement of NADPH2 is common in both bacterial photosynthesis and higher plant photosynthesis, and in both the cases NADPH2 is the reducing power that reduces carbon dioxide to carbohydrate. Now the question is, as cyclic electron transport and cyclic photophosphorylation, that is light phase of bacteria, and it provide only ATP, then what is the source of NADPH2? That is the big question. Okay? Here in higher plant photosynthesis, light phase end products are both NADPH and ATP. So, assimilatory power is totally supplied by light phase reactions in higher plant photosynthesis, that is oxygenic photosynthesis. But here the point is, and during light phase we followed only cyclic electron transport and cyclic photophosphorylation and only ATP is the end product we observed there. And then what is the source of NADPH2 formation for bacterial photosynthesis? And for that, and the explanation given by scientists is, particularly Van Niel, he revealed, and there is a hydrogen donor specially found in bacterial photosynthesis, that is H2S. So, instead of water molecule, H2S involved in bacterial photosynthesis, that is the donor of electrons and protons for NADP plus and cause the synthesis of NADPH. So, the reducing power NADPH is common for both bacteria and higher plant photosynthesis, but in bacterial photosynthesis the formation of reducing power NADPH by the oxidation of hydrogen sulfide, and hydrogen sulfide is the electron and proton donor for NADPH formation. But whereas in higher plants and water, that is involved in non-cyclic electron transport, and that is the donor of electrons as well as protons for NADPH formation. That is the major difference between bacterial photosynthesis and higher plant photosynthesis. Hydrogen sulfide is the donor of electrons and protons for NADPH formation. In bacterial photosynthesis, there is no photolysis of water, no oxygen evolution, so that it is anoxygenic. Whereas in higher plants photosynthesis, and here involvement of water molecule, that is the donor of electrons and protons for NADPH formation, and here evolution of oxygen made the photosynthesis, oxygenic photosynthesis. Okay? And now my question is, cyanobacteria, that is blue green algae, are they oxygenic or anoxygenic? And they are oxygenic, and they had both PS1 and PS2. So, here bacterial photosynthesis which is anoxygenic, and that is only with PS1. So, PS1 is common for both bacteria as well as higher plants, that includes cyanobacteria up to angiosperms. Okay? But PS2 is found only from cyanobacteria to angiosperms, that means only for oxygenic photosynthetic organisms, and that is absent in bacterial photosynthetic mechanism. So, that photolysis of water and oxygen evolution does not occur during bacterial photosynthesis due to non-availability of PS2 and OEC, and whereas photolysis and oxygen evolution occur during higher plant photosynthesis due to the involvement of PS2 and OEC. So, students, with this we completed light phase reactions of photosynthesis, and in the next session we will come again, we will be here again to discuss dark phase mechanism, which is very essential and very important for both photosynthetic mechanism as well as for our NEET orientation. Hi students, we are here to know about photosynthesis, and the mechanism of photosynthesis include light phase and dark phase. In the previous sessions we followed light phase mechanism in detail. Okay. Now, and we follow that dark phase mechanism or dark phase reaction of photosynthesis with the question, where are that ATP and NADPH used? Actually, in the previous sessions we followed during light phase reactions, due to the electron transport and proton translocation, ATP and NADPH formation we followed, which can be combinedly referred as assimilatory power. So, we came to know the significance of light phase or light reaction, that is synthesis of ATP and NADPH, which can be referred as assimilatory power. Now, let us know where are that ATP and NADPH used. Okay. So, ATP and NADPH form during light phase of photosynthesis, and they are used during dark phase or dark reaction of photosynthesis. So, now let us continue dark phase or dark reaction, what happens, where it occurs, and what are the different biochemical reactions that we follow. Dark phase or dark reaction actually a misnomer. Misnomer mean, and that is named wrongly, as we follow the word misnomer, wrongly named. So, as we see why dark phase or dark reaction considered as a misnomer, because dark phase or dark reaction that occur independent of sunlight mean occur either in the absence of sunlight or in presence of sunlight. So, that is light independent process, but depend on the products of light phase reaction. What are the products of light phase reaction? ATP and NADPH, and that is assimilatory power. So, to perform dark phase reactions require the consumption of ATP and NADPH. So, dark phase reactions occur independent of sunlight, occur either in presence of sunlight or absence of sunlight, but depend on the products of light reaction, mean, and they need ATP and NADPH. Till there is supply of ATP and NADPH, dark phase reactions occur whether in presence of light or absence of light. So, the name dark phase or dark reaction is a misnomer, but of course, we follow with the same name, but it is very clear the dark phase of photosynthesis, which is the later phase of photosynthesis and which is involved in the synthesis of carbohydrates that occur independent of sunlight, but depend on the products of light phase, that is assimilatory power, and the assimilatory power synthesized during light phase, that is ATP and NADPH, and they are consumed or used during dark phase or dark reaction. Now, the venue of dark phase, where it occur? That occur in the stroma of the chloroplast, and these dark phase reactions, they cause the photosynthetic carbon reduction, carbon dioxide reduced to carbohydrate during dark phase reactions. So, we can refer dark phase as biosynthetic phase. The synthesis of food material actually happens during dark phase, and it is an enzyme mediated process. As we follow the dark phase mechanism, and it includes a series of biochemical reactions which are catalyzed by enzymes, so that is an enzyme mediated process. As it is an enzyme mediated process and that is controlled by temperature, as we know enzyme activity is under the control of temperature. So, we can say as dark phase is enzyme mediated process and it is under the control of temperature or temperature controlling process. Okay. Now, coming to the what are the different biochemical pathways or the reactions that occur during dark phase, and dark phase include C3 cycle, and C3 cycle occur in all photosynthetic organisms during dark phase reactions, that means during dark reaction, and this is the way by which photosynthetic carbon reduction takes place. Mean carbon dioxide reduced to carbohydrate only through C3 cycle reactions, which also called Calvin cycle reactions, and we consider C3 cycle as common for all photosynthetic organisms, and that is the only way of carbon reduction into carbohydrate. And additionally, in certain plants we may follow C4 pathway during dark phase, and in some plants like succulent xerophytes with scotoactive stomata, additionally we follow another biochemical pathway, that is CAM pathway. So, totally in dark phase we are going to discuss C3 cycle, C4 pathway and CAM pathway, and that occur during dark phase of photosynthesis. Among these three, C3 cycle is universal, found in all photosynthetic organisms, common for all photosynthetic plants, and that is the pathway that follows carbon dioxide reduced to carbohydrate. Whereas C4 pathway and CAM pathway specially found in certain plants, and they perform only CO2 fixation, and they are meant for additional CO2 fixation. Okay. Students, let us focus on the important event that occur during dark phase reactions, that is Calvin cycle, in other words C3 cycle. And as we follow the historical information and the discovery and how Calvin cycle traced out by the scientists, and based on that, let us follow few points which are very interesting. Calvin cycle, that is C3 cycle, as already I mentioned, that is universal dark phase reaction that occur commonly in all photosynthetic organisms, because that is the only way for photosynthetic carbon reduction and carbon dioxide reduced to carbohydrate and biosynthetic phase in all photosynthetic organisms. And this was studied and traced out by Melvin Calvin and of course his colleagues Calvin, Benson and Basham. They studied about this cycle, Calvin cycle. So, in honor of the scientist, and it is named as Calvin cycle, and as they identified the first product formed during this biochemical pathway is a 3-carbon compound, that is phosphoglyceric acid, which is a 3-carbon organic acid, as the first product formed during this biochemical pathway. So, it is termed as C3 cycle also, and we can refer it as photosynthetic carbon reduction cycle, because only through C3 cycle or Calvin cycle carbon dioxide reduced to carbohydrate and concerned with the synthesis of hexoses. Okay. So, now Calvin, how he traced out this pathway, and for that we got some information. Calvin experimented on chlorella, the unicellular green alga, Already we followed chlorella is the experimental tool in light phase reactions also. So, chlorella is the unicellular alga and the main photosynthetic tool which is used to study both light phase and dark phase reactions, we can say. And here Calvin used chlorella cells to trace out this pathway while using an isotope, that is C14 fed to carbon dioxide. Mean he fed chlorella cells with carbon dioxide having C14 isotope and followed a technique, that is tracer technique, that is autoradiography, to trace out the biochemical reactions that occur during this C3 cycle or Calvin cycle reactions. So, and here the experimental plant chlorella, the isotope used is C14 in the substance carbon dioxide. So, chlorella cells, they are fed with isotopic carbon dioxide with C14 and they followed the biochemical reactions that occur by autoradiography technique or tracer technique. Okay. So, that is about the historical event, how Calvin cycle traced out by Melvin Calvin and his colleagues. And now, let us follow a detailed description of Calvin cycle reactions. We follow all the biochemical reactions that occur during Calvin cycle, the biochemical pathway, and how carbon dioxide finally fixed or reduced into hexoges and how it is involved in the synthesis of hexoges. Students, now let us follow the detailed mechanism of Calvin cycle, including the biochemical reactions that we follow, how it caused the synthesis of hexoges. Now let us see what are the different major steps involved in Calvin cycle reaction, and that include three major steps, that is carboxylation, reduction and regeneration. Okay. Carboxylation, that is fixation of inorganic carbon dioxide in the form of organic acid, that is phosphoglyceric acid, carboxylation, and reduction, that organic carbonic acid, that is phosphoglyceric acid undergo phosphorylation and reduction, mean carbon dioxide converted into organic form, that is carboxylation, further that is reduced into the sugar molecules and here trio sugars are formed. So, that is reduction phase. And then here the third step is regeneration. I mentioned that is regeneration of RUBP, and here RUBP, that is ribulose bias phosphate, is a 5-carbon compound and that is the acceptor of carbon dioxide in Calvin cycle reaction. So, that mediate carbon dioxide added to Calvin cycle and help in fixation of carbon dioxide in the form of organic substance. But finally, only carbon dioxide is involved in the synthesis of hexose, and this RUBP which accept that carbon dioxide and fixed, and again it is regenerated. So, the third step is related to regeneration of RUBP. So, now let us follow the details of carboxylation, reduction and regeneration phases, and here the first step in Calvin cycle is carboxylation, that is CO2 fixation. CO2 fixation by the acceptor RUBP, and that is ribulose bias phosphate, a pentose sugar, a 5-carbon compound, accept that inorganic gaseous carbon dioxide and fix it in the form of an organic acid, which is a 3-carbon organic acid, that is phosphoglyceric acid. So, this biochemical pathway named as C3 cycle we said before. And now, let us follow here the step carboxylation is catalyzed by an enzyme called Rubisco. All of you follow here. This is the name of the enzyme Rubisco involved in carboxylation. As we elaborate Rubisco, and may all of you recollect Rubisco in biomolecules you studied. Rubisco is the abundant enzyme protein found in plant kingdom, and that is found in stroma of chloroplast, and that is involved in Calvin cycle reactions in carboxylation phase. The full form of Rubisco is ribulose bias phosphate, carboxylase and oxygenase. But here in this particular reaction, that is carboxylation, and Rubisco act like RUBP carboxylase. Okay, here it act like RUBP carboxylase and involved in CO2 fixation, and that is RUBP carboxylase here. Okay, but the full form of Rubisco is RUBP carboxylase and oxygenase, It may show dual activity like carboxylase as well as oxygenase, but in Calvin cycle reactions during carboxylation phase, it act like only carboxylase. So, RuBP carboxylase catalyze that carboxylation process, the first step of Calvin cycle, where RuBP molecule fixes or accept carbon dioxide and fix it in the form of organic acid, that is PGA, phosphoglyceric acid. And now, and here as we follow the count, the numerical, and here we showed 6 CO2 molecules are fixed and accepted by 6 RuBP, and for the fixation of each CO2 molecule we consider one turn of Calvin cycle. So, here in this biochemical pathway, what I represented on the board, that represents 6 turns of Calvin cycle, and all these numericals and totally this biochemical pathway that reflect 6 turns of Calvin cycle here we are representing. Okay, because we had taken 6 carbon dioxide molecules and in the fixation process, and 6 RuBP accept 6 CO2 and form 12 molecules of 3 carbon organic acid, that is phosphoglyceric acid. Now, these 12 molecules of phosphoglyceric acid, they enter into the second phase, that is reduction phase. The second phase of Calvin cycle is reduction phase. But here there are 2 types of reactions in reduction phase. This total phase is reduction phase we consider, and there the first reaction of reduction phase is phosphorylation, and here that phosphoglyceric acid, 12 molecules of phosphoglyceric acid undergo phosphorylation and converted into 12 molecules of biphosphoglyceric acid, mean one more phosphate is added to these molecules, and here addition of that phosphate is done by utilizing 12 ATP molecules. So, in phosphorylation process 12 ATP molecules are utilized, so that 12 PGA molecules converted into 12 biphosphoglyceric acid molecules. Now, these biphosphoglyceric acid molecules undergo reduction, and here the reducing power utilized is NADPH. Okay, and for the reduction of each phosphoglyceric acid, that is each biphosphoglyceric acid require 1 NADPH2. So, to reduce these 12 molecules of biphosphoglyceric acid, 12 NADPH molecules are utilized, and that is the reducing power utilized. Okay, and so here reduction process completed, and the product of reduction is 12 molecules of G3P. G3P mean glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So, and here phosphoglyceric acid, which is an organic acid, reduced to glyceraldehyde, that is sugar molecule, and it is a kind of trio sugar. G3P is a trio sugar, 3 carbon sugar. So, as a result of reduction, sugar molecules are synthesized here. Okay. So, the product of reduction is nothing but sugar molecule, but trio sugars, they are 3 carbon sugars. And the 12 G3P molecules can be referred as G3P pool because large number of molecules here gathered. So, we can refer it as G3P pool also. And here in the pool, now 12 molecules of G3P are there, which are the products of reduction phase and products of reduction reaction, and the reducing power utilized is NADPH, and for the reduction of 12 phosphoglyceric acid to convert into 12 G3P, 12 NADPH molecules are utilized. That is a reducing power utilized in 6 turns of C3 cycle to fix 6 CO2 molecules for the synthesis of 1 hexose. Okay. Now, let us follow the next phase of Calvin cycle, and that is regeneration of RuBP. By the formation of these trioges, almost all that sugar synthesis is completed, and the remaining is just that G3P molecules are isomerized into DHAP, and that DHAP exported to cytosol and involved in the synthesis of hexose by condensation. So, already sugar synthesis completed, but trioges are here, and finally may condensed into hexose. But the remaining pathway that reflects regeneration of RuBP, mean the acceptor molecule should be again regenerated and joined to the stroma. And now let us follow regeneration phase. Here for our convenience, we split that 12 molecules of G3P into 2 molecules and 6 times I mentioned here. and among these G3P molecules and alternate I represented DHAP, that mean and total 6 molecules of that G3P are isomerized into DHAP, that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate, and the remaining 6 in the form of G3P. So now there in the pool total 12 trioges are there. Among the 12 trioges, 6 trioges remain in the form of G3P, but 6 trioges are isomerized into DHAP, that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. And now as we follow the destiny of these trioges, and among these 2 DHAP molecules, dihydroxyacetone phosphates, they are exported to cytosol and considered as net gain of Calvin cycle here. This is the net gain, mean the DHAP molecules which are exported to cytosol, which are involved in hexosynthesis, and they should be considered as the net gain. So if 6 CO2 molecules are fixed and 12 molecules in the G3P pool, how many trioges as net gain we got? Only 2 DHAP molecules as net gain, and they only exported to cytosol and involved in the synthesis of how many hexoses? 1 hexose. So for the synthesis of 1 hexose, what should be the net gain from the Calvin cycle reactions? 2 DHAP molecules as net gain. Okay. Then what happened to remaining trioges? And among the 12, 2 by 12 as net gain we followed in the form of DHAP utilized for hexosynthesis, and the remaining 10 by 12, and they are involved in the regeneration of RUBP. Okay. So now how that 10 by 12, that means 5/6 of the pool involved in regeneration of RUBP, let us see. And here this is condensation of G3P and DHAP and form and 6 carbon compounds, that is fructose biphosphate molecules, 2 molecules, then converted into fructose monophosphate molecule, then 2 molecules of this fructose and again involved in transketolation along with 2 more G3P molecules and split into 5 carbon compounds, that is xylulose, and 4 carbon compound, that is erythrose. 2 molecules of xylulose and 2 molecules of erythrose are the products of first transketolation. This is transketolation 1. And now the 2 molecules of erythrose condensed with 2 molecules of DHAP and form 2 molecules of 7 carbon compound, that is pseudoheptaloges, and these 2 molecules of pseudoheptaloges and finally involved in transketolation along with the remaining 2 G3P molecules, and this is second transketolation, transketolation 2, and the products are 2 molecules of xylulose and 2 molecules of ribose. So finally, as a result of this condensation and transketolation reactions occur during regeneration, we got 2 molecules of xylulose here and 2 molecules of xylulose here, total 4 molecules of xylulose as well as 2 ribose molecules. Finally, these 4 molecules of xylulose as well as 2 ribose molecules undergo isomerization and form ribulose monophosphate, that is RUMP. And finally, these RUMP molecules converted into RUBP and 6 molecules of RUMP here converted into 6 molecules of RUBP by phosphorylation process, and here for that phosphorylation ATP molecules are utilized and 6 ATP molecules are utilized for the formation of 6 RUBP from 6 RUMP. So regeneration of RUBP completed. Okay, and this is the detailed description of Calvin cycle.